Hello.
Hello, hi Sonali.
Yeah, Neha. Hi, Tejal.
How are you?
Yeah, I'm good. How are you?
Good, good. Thank you.
In today's session, we'll look at the one of the application called HRM based application. Earlier, we had looked at the e-commerce website, right? So that day we had done all the testing through UI, how the flow will go, what components do you need to test, how will you write the test plan, these things we had covered. Today we will look at one of the application. Let me share my screen. So what is HRM based application is, it's majorly where a employee will be putting down their leaves and the manager could approve them. They can entitle them more leaves, that yes, this person will be having these many leaves. Normal holidays that will be there in a particular organization, and time sheet. So these sort of things will be there in this application. But we will be testing it just on the basis of what if we don't have the UI with us? What if we have to just test it using the APIs, right? The APIs that your developer will be sharing with you. Okay, so we won't be looking into this UI, but we will be just taking a reference. We'll just try to understand what is this application about. Okay, so this is majorly what is there is. If you look at here, this is the admin mode. Okay, in the admin mode, there will be option to add more users. So let's say if there is a new joinee, or so you can give them access, whether you want to give them admin access or ESS. It's just basic, like they are employees, normal employees. So here you can give XYZ, and the status will be enabled or disabled, in the sense like, if that person has left the organization, in that case it will be disabled. Your admin can come here and they can mark it as disabled, and if they are there, or if they are new joinees, they can just mark it as enabled. So this is a username, password, these sort of details we can give, and so the user will be added over here. All right. If you wish, you can delete the users as well. We'll come to the leaves side now. So here you'll be seeing like the admin has the access to approve or reject these many leave requests, which has by the other employees. All right. They can also filter this leave list. They can filter the leave list for themselves as well. Like suppose for this particular user, Paul Collins, for them also, they can check that how many leaves they have right now with them. So reports, this will give me a proper report that this particular user who is logged in, they have right now 0 leaves with them. Okay. Within this period. So this 2023, from 1st January to 31st December, they don't have right now, they don't have any leaves entitled to them.
Oh, Sonali.
Yeah.
Before we going forward, I want to know the full form for HRM is.
HRM is basically HR management system.
Okay, so this will be the part of. So this is different from the e-commerce website.
Yes, yes, yes. So this is a different domain that we are talking about today. So it will just give you some idea how different domains works, right?
Okay.
E-commerce will be having different images, and the complete structure will be different. Over here, you'll be seeing a lot of data which will be reflecting on the UI, right?
Yes. So this application is generally we are gonna when we are gonna test to this application. So this application is generally used by the HR management.
Right. Yeah.
Okay, but we will test this to so that they can easily access this.
So the thing is, like, let's say your organization works on the development of this HR management product. So in that case, you will have to do it. It's not like you are doing it for your own organization for their benefit. If
Yeah.
your company is working on this, yeah, that time.
Okay, okay. So then we can write in our resume that we worked on the HRM applications also.
Right, right, exactly.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. So this is a freeware open demo application. You can, share the link. You can also go through it and get some more in-depth knowledge of this application. What are we doing over here? And so right now, today, we will be just looking into the this thing, the APIs. How do we test it from Postman? Okay. So I'm sharing the link into the chat. You can take it from there. So, okay. So we will first look into the API where the admin wants to create the users. Okay. So these all details that I have put down over here, it is basically, this has been shared by the developer in the form of documentation. Okay. This is clear, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So basically right now, let's say we have this, that I want to create this user, I'll have to fill the details. So what you have seen on the UI as well, when I was showing. So when I want to create a new user, at that time, I need to give username, password. This status means nothing but whether, I want to mark it as enabled or disabled. User role ID, this refers to, there was two things again, admin or ESS. And employee number will be, we can give anything. This is up to us. Okay. So right now, let's just
So Sonali, so we are generally creating the data here.
yes, generating the data, or maybe, even fetching it from the database. All right.
Oh,
So what we will do it right now, I'll just show you one flow. Just hold on for a minute.
okay,
So
okay.
here, let's suppose right now in my HRM application, I don't have any users at all. Okay. So this is
Mhm,
the first time I'm trying to add a user. Okay. Let's suppose if I want to check before that, how many users do I have? So this is the API to get the number
mhm.
of users that I have with me. Okay. So here I can also filter, give different filters. Okay, so I can give the ascending orders as well, on which order do you want to ascend. So these are few things like username on username and ascending I want to do. So let's just look at it first, how it is working.
Oh,
Okay.
that's a SQL query you write after the question mark.
No, it's not a SQL query. This is basically the query parameters, right? So you can also give it from here as well.
Okay.
So what you can do is, you can either just remove all of these things will be here. So let's say I have removed the limit. Okay. So you'll see limit is not gone from here now. If I'll just
Actually,
add it
I'm
again.
asking, yeah, yeah. Actually, I'm asking you this because we learned limit offset in SQL. So we never learned from the API. So
Okay.
that's why my question is
Yeah.
like,
Yeah. So limit and offset will be, same for over here as well. So we are just giving the this particular response that some limit, that maximum I want to see 50 output details. I don't want to see more than that. That's what I'm calling for. Okay, let's say
okay.
just top 50 users I want to see. So here, if you'll see, since I haven't given any detail, like if I want to filter onto something, I've just given that I want to sort this result on username in the ascending order. So these are the users which are already added into my application. So if I'll just scroll down, there are like 42 users total. Okay. Now, let's say if right now I had given the limit as 50, I'll give the limit as 10 now. It's still giving me that the total count, this one is giving me that the total count is 42. But if here, if I'll just validate it, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. So it's just giving me the 10 users only, right? So it works like that. Yeah. And yeah. So I also have the filter to just give up to search for a particular user. So here I'm searching for temp123. Let's see what happens right now. So it says that there is no user who is with the name temp123. So I'm not getting the 200. I mean, like I'm not getting the output as 400. Okay. So it depends upon the designing of the API, right? So that's what we expect on the application as well. So if I have searched for an invalid thing, my application shouldn't break. My application should not be showing me a complete red error, or shouldn't be like, the application has stopped working, or it is showing that page not found or something like that. It will just show that there are no search result for this. Right. So this is one of the scenario when you are doing a search based upon any filter, or just you're searching for anything in your application, and you're searching an invalid data. At that moment, it should still give you status as 200 and not as 400. But in the search result, it should be shown that no result found, or 0, total count is 0. I don't have any user with that name. Is this clear, right?
So this is not a bug, right? If it shows like total is
Yeah,
equal
yeah.
to 0, this
This
is
is not.
okay.
Yeah. Okay. So now I'm trying to add a new user. Okay. This user, I'm marking it as disabled. I'm giving them a user role ID, which is ESS. So these details, these mappings, right, they will be shared with you from the developer side. So while you are entering into the testing phase, the documentation which will be shared by the developer, they'll be having each and every detail of these mappings as well. That when I'm saying that status is false, it means that the user is disabled. When I'm giving the user role ID as 2, it means that the user is now will be having access only as a ESS user, not a admin user, right? Let's just try to create this user first. Now, so you see here, now I'm getting that 422 unprocessable content. So you need to have some idea about these errors, right? 422 unprocessable content. What's wrong over here? So invalid parameters, parameter username. It's showing me that username is invalid, which means might be possible that this user is already there into the users which are already there. Okay, so I'll just come here, I'll give a check, or I'll just do one thing over here. When I have given the filter over here only, I'll do 4 and 5. No, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Solani, it's there is not written 4 actually. 1, 2, 3, 5, I think.
Oh,
Yeah.
sorry. Yeah. Okay. So if you see that this user is already there. So here, this is also a part of negative testing. When I'm saying that this, I'm trying to add a new user which has been already created, right? It should block me that this user is already created. You can't create it again. So 422 I'm getting, and I'm saying that I'm getting the error as that this is invalid parameters. So this test case is now passed. So this is how you will do negative testing on the API front. Okay. Now
Okay.
let's just give it as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now this is allowing me to create the user. So employee number is 1. And so now you can see that ESS, the role is ESS. And these are the things. Okay. Let's try if I don't give the role. Okay. In that case, what will happen? So now it's showing. Okay, let's give this as well. User role ID, invalid parameters. So basically, it is testing whether without the mandatory field, if the user try to create this, create a new user, will they be able to create it? So they should be blocked. That these are the mandatory field which the user should enter.
So the whatever in the body request, so these parameters will given by the developers to me
Right.
for testing. Okay.
Right.
So then
Okay.
we do it according by negative testing. So either if created the same username or deleting the user role ID or deleting the status. So when we perform the negative testing on this scenario.
Right, right. So here, what things now you will test is just basically just think of it like you are doing this testing on the UI only. All right. So on the UI, what will you check? If you gives the password as, let's say, each and every organization or each and every company will follow some password policy also, right? That there should be a one uppercase, then lowercase, and then these many characters should be there, these many numbers should be there. So based on the password policy of the organization, we'll have to test this passwords as well, that my password should work only within the password policy. If I'm just giving some number, basically, and I'm trying to send this, it shouldn't be letting me to do that. Okay. So these kind of scenarios will have to test it.
Okay. So do we take a snapshot of like if the test is passed?
If the test is passed, in that case, yeah, you should take majorly what happens is like uh, there will be so many APIs that you need to test. So each and every API snapshot, you won't be able to take it. But that is actually the thing which we should follow, because there might be something like when developer will make some changes, and might happen that in the later stages of testing that particular API will start to fail. But when you are working on a practical environment, it won't be happening like that, that you'll be able to capture the snapshot of each and every past test case. But for failed test scenarios, you'll have to take the snapshot.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. So this is right now what we did was the admin user creation, the new user creation. Now we'll look into this thing. This is basically leaves type. Okay. So there will be, like I shown you on the UI as well. So there could be different type of leaves in an organization, which could be like maybe just normal vacations which are allotted to each and every employees, maybe bereavement leaves, or so if you'll just look at this example, FMLA, maternity, personal, and there will be some type of, so we just need to validate this kind of things. When you're just seeing that, we have to just put a get request, there won't be any body, we are checking that type of leaves. So this kind of APIs, when you're hitting them, and now what will you understand, like from where will you check that are these the only leaves that we have, or is there any additional leave which has been added? So how will you validate it? Do you guys have any answer for that?
Can you repeat the question, please?
Yeah.
So my question is, in this type of scenario where there are like just leave types, and you're getting the result as that these many type of leaves are there. So how will you validate whether this is the correct result or not.
So
By
you
SQL.
yeah, you have
Right.
to check the table, particularly for the leaves.
Right, right. So these details, the admin or the HR won't be entering it from the UI only, from the application. They won't be entering these details, because in that scenario, like maybe there are like 10 admins and might come up and can add some different variety of leaves. So these details will be majorly added from the database only. So you'll have to go to the database and validate each and everything from there. Okay, so the number of count, the naming, and all of these things will be validated from the database. Okay, so we have looked at two things right now, where one of them was like when the user was giving the data, and when I was again trying to get all the users, the source of truth will be the first API, how they have inserted this data. The second is where I'm trying to get the records of the leave types. So my source of truth will be here, database. Okay.
Yes.
Now leave
So
available.
for the leaves is different URL, right?
Yeah. So for everything, the URL will be different only.
Okay. So these are the test cases, Sonali.
Yeah, these are the test cases.
So you in the API URL is the test case. And
URL is the test. No, 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 no. The test case
the
will be,
data you are creating, it's a test cases.
no, the data that I'm creating, that is the test data only. So here, let's say I have created some data. This is the test data only. So test case will be the normal test cases that we write for the UI as well, right? Whether the user is able to create the add new users or not. If
So
the user
here,
gives
yeah.
invalid data, if the user gives extra fields, invalid fields, the output, am I able to create the new user?
Okay.
Yeah.
Can you show the GET request for the leaves?
Yeah.
So what are all these things in parameters? Like you have checked mark everything, right?
Yeah. So these are basically the headers. These are not the parameters. Parameters, we have it over here. So these headers will be, again, it will be given by the that only developer only. In case of any authentication, then we'll have to add it manually. Otherwise, apart from that, everything will be coming from the developer side. So right now, these are having some cookies as well. When the developer will be giving it to you, you won't be needing the cookies, or they might ask you to, just go to the application once, and you can't see my screen, right? Wait. Yeah. So what they can ask you is like, from the, if let's say some part of the application is ready and there is a new feature that you're working on, then in that case, they might ask you to get the cookies from the application itself, from the UI itself. So you'll come here, and from here you can take the cookies. So have you got this? So what will I do is I will just basically click on inspect. I'll come to the network tab. I'll just open any of the APIs that are already headed, right? I'll just click on either of these things, available UI page. Wherever, if you'll click, the cookies will remain same. They won't change.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Yeah. But what happens is like these cookies are majorly attached to your sessions. So if your session expires, which means, let's say you are on this site for like 24 hours, and after 24 hours also, if you try to access your APIs using the same cookie, it will say that the session is not alive now. Normally what happens in day-to-day websites, right? They will ask you to log in again. So that will happen. So in such scenarios, you can do this kind of testing as well, where your company, your organization will be following something, maybe your team would be working on something like that. This session should be alive for 24 hours, or it should expire. If it's like let's say if it's a finance based company, right? So if it's a banking based company, they will be saying that their session alive time is very less. It can be for 1 hour also, it can be like for 5 minutes also. So if your session has been dead, you're not interacting on the screen for more than 10 minutes also, they will just end your session. You'll have to log in again because it's a very secure thing they'll have to maintain. So these kind of things will have to take the input from the product owners as well. You can do that, but majorly just for finance based domain, these things happen like the session alive time will be very less. So in that case only we can ask the product owners such questions. But in day-to-day applications like HRM based application or the e-commerce based application, the session will be alive for 1 day or maybe 12 hours.
Okay. So whatever information we need for the header in Postman, we can get it from here, right?
Yeah, we can get it from here as well, right?
Okay.
But see, usually what you will say is like that you used to get it from the developer only. We won't be following these things that you need to come on to the UI and then take the headers from the UI. It's just for the cookie that I'm mentioning that, well, we can take it from over here only also.
So, Sonali, but this case will happens only when the UI is developed. If it is
Right.
not developed, then we cannot test it from here, right?
Exactly. So in that case, we won't be having any cookies at all. There won't be any cookies that the developer will be giving to you. Okay. They will be creating in such a way only that if you won't give the cookies also, it will be the APIs will be working for you.
Okay. If UI page is developed, then we will get the cookies. Otherwise, not.
It completely see on the UI though it's definitely like that only that cookies will be there.
Yes.
If the APIs are ready only for the API testing and it's in the initial phase, at that time they won't be adding these cookies for the
Yes.
testing purposes and all.
Yes. Yes. That's what my answer. Oh, question. Sorry. Thank you.
Yeah. So right now here we had a look at this type of leaves. Now, just a second, leave available.
Sonali, the link you shared, that's the open source that we can do it by ourselves.
Yeah, that's open source.
So when we create, either we create a data or we do a negative testing or everything, we can do it. Okay.
Exactly. Yeah, you can do it from there.
So they have provided this API URLs as well, right? Okay.
Okay, we will do. Thank you.
So in this particular API, we are looking at the available leaves for this user who has been logged in. So right now I was logged in as Paul. So when what I'm trying to do over here is I'm trying to look at the entitled leaves for this person. How many leaves are available? So let's just check. You see right now it's saying that the session has expired 401 unauthorized. Okay. So what I will do now is I'll just copy this cookie. If you'll see, so for each and every type of leaves that we have with us, it is showing me that, okay, 0 days, 0 days. So exactly what I had seen on the UI, right? So total type of leaves is 10, but what I have right now with me is 0. Over here also 0, 0. So I need to entitle some leaves to this user. Okay. So basically only a admin could entitle someone leaves. So they can entitle the leaves for themselves as well and for the other users as well. Okay. So here basically what will be my scenario will be like, I'll be looking into like all the leave types should be coming over here in this particular API hit, and I should be getting the proper data. So this data again, I will check it from the database. I'll look into it from the database. And this also says that pending approval days, if there are any scheduled days that I had taken. So each and every details, these things, I need to check it from the database. Is that right? Okay. Now let's go and entitle some leaves to this this particular users. Entitlement. So if you'll see over here, the employee ID is 24. So we'll copy the same thing. Let me 0024. Okay, leave type is, I'm giving it as 6. So I think it will be just can vacation that I'm giving right now. Yeah. Okay, from date is this an entitlement for 35. So from date and to date, this means that these will be expiring on 31st December and are valid from 1st January. Okay. Again, session expired. Okay, so this actually it is coming as employee number is 24. This is for someone else actually. It did it. So okay. So if you look over here, the employee number was 7, but the employee ID was 24. So this thing, when I was sending it from here, I was giving the employee ID and not that. So I need to give the employee number in the body, which is 7. So my leaves which got entitled went to Jacqueline. Okay. So this can vacation and they have been entitled 35 leaves. So these 35 leaves are not like that, they can just, they have got this, they'll be on vacation. They can just put down a request to access these leaves, right? You're getting my point, right? They can take some leaves from these days.
Yeah, understood.
Okay, so now it got assigned to Paul and the number is 35. So likewise, what we can do is there were several type of leaves that we had. So our test case will be like, so we'll be checking it for 1, 2, and in terms of like invalid data, let's say if I have given 19, what will happen in that case? So invalid parameters, unprocessable content. Okay, so this type of error is occurring when we are giving some data which is going beyond, which is not proper, right? So unprocessed, they can't process this data. So this is again blocking me to do that. So this is working fine. This is the negative test case. Okay. Again, we can do the testing like what if I don't give the any expiry for this. So in that case also, it should be giving me same unprocessable.
So, Sonali, this we called data testing also.
Yeah, this is data testing also. Basically, it's negative testing that we are doing right now over here. Data testing will be most of the time, let's say what we did from here, right? So I had put down the request, it's just a GET request, but I'm testing it from the database.
Yes,
Okay.
so that's a data testing also. We are doing with the help of API.
Right. So anything that you're validating on the database also, right? So let's say you had put down this request. Okay, this is a successful request. Now you're going to the database and you're validating it there as well, that whatever details I had given over here, those are getting stored into my database. So whatever testing you're doing on the database side, that will be coming as a data testing as well.
Okay.
Okay, so these things will be testing it two-sided, right? So at some point, what will happen, my source of truth will be the database. At the other point, what will happen is like my source of truth will be the APIs which I had sent. So on the database, I'll validate whether those things are getting saved properly or not. Okay, so let's say maybe if I have given the leave type ID as 1, but in my database, what's happening is like the entitlement is going for all the leave types. For all the leave types, 35, 35, 35 I'm getting. So in that case, what's happening is like maybe they haven't processed this leave type ID. So there is some issue with this, right? So this kind of debugging, small things debugging you can also do, right? That if the leaves are getting assigned for all the types, that means leave type ID, they haven't kept it under consideration, and they are just taking that, okay, 35 we have to add, so they have added. So these things will be done by a lot by the developers, will have to take care a lot about this. So we can't just go and check that, okay, for number 1 type of leave type ID, I'm getting 35. We'll have to check for others. They are also not getting tweaked. From date and end date also we'll have to check. So right now in the response, I'm getting this from date and end date also. But on the database also, we need to check that from date and to date are correct or not. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
So suppose person got get the 35 leaves for the whole year,
Hmm.
and in between he took some leaves. So we have to update that also in the database. He took around 10 leaves. So now the 25 leaves is left.
Right. These things should be handled. Everything these will be handled by the database. So there will be several other APIs as well, which will be, when what will happen is like the person will first put a request that I'm going to take leave from this date to this day.
Mhm.
Then the manager will come, and let's say the manager approves those leaves. Okay. So
Mhm.
in that case, let's say he has put down the leaves for 12 days. So in that scenario, like 23 should be the remaining in the database. If the manager says that rejected, so the count should not, change. The count should remain 35 only. So
Yes.
these validations also will be doing.
So this is our duty if we are working on this application. So this is our duty to update those leaves also.
No, this won't be our duty. This will be the API's duty to do that. So you'll be testing these APIs. If they are working fine, then it
Mhm.
will be getting updated automatically into the database. You don't need to do it manually at all.
But we have to test it. If we delete 10 leaves from 35, so the remaining should be if manager approve.
Right. So I'll just share the UI again.
Mhm.
So over here, so that's what I have said. You can today go and explore this application more. What will happen is like you'll be having these things where the user can, say the admin can also assign the leaves. The user who has been there, they can apply for leaves. When you're accessing as an admin, you can approve their leaves also. Okay. There is one thing right now in this application is that if I have put down the leaves for my own purpose, okay, if I have put down the leaves for this user only, Paul, and I'm logged in as Paul, so I will be able to accept it. This has to be accepted by someone else.
Okay.
Is this clear? Like, suppose you're the manager, you can't accept your own, you can't approve your own leaves.
Yes, there
It
may
has
be
to be your
managed.
own manager. Yeah.
Yeah.
So they'll have to approve it. So these things also you can do it this way. So you can approve these leaves. Now you should see that now the record should change. Okay. Now we are getting 4 records over here. So what happened just now, if you saw, when I clicked on approve, it was showing 0 records. So these kind of scenario could be raised as a bug that when I'm clicking on the approve button, it's showing at 0 record. I need to go to some other page and come back over here. Only then it will show the correct result. So it is not auto refreshing.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So right now what I had done was like entitled my own user some 35 leaves. So on the UI, initially we had seen that the leaves which were assigned to that particular user was 7 only. Now it has been entitled, uh, it was initially 0 for this employee number 7. Now the leaves entitled are 35. Now let's suppose I want to put down some leaves from my side, okay, that I want to apply the leave. Okay.
So whenever you're getting 401, you are refreshing the cookies, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. So for this one now, it says that, yes, I'm able to, I have applied for this much day of leaves. Okay. Uh, this was my body. Again, on the body, we can do a lot of tweak, like half day morning, or what kind of leaves are we trying to apply for full day. And these things will be again shared by the developer, that what type of leaves a person can take. Again, we can check what are the mandatory fields by removing them and then trying to hit the send key. Okay, so this way we will validate that what are the mandatory fields. Okay, until and unless we don't have the UI, this is the only way to test the API, how to get the mandatory fields. So we will just remove each and every, these fields, and we will try to hit the API. So it should basically block me from sending those API, that this is not the valid parameter. So these kind of things you'll do. Let me just okay, leave request I have done. Okay, let's just look at this one also. So I had actually applied the leave for this one, 9th of Feb. Okay, now when I'm trying to look at the leaves applied by this user only, limit is 50 again, and this is the thing. This is basically I'm doing it for all the users. Yes, yeah. This will be for all the users. So if you want to do it for the any particular user, we can also give the filter option is there. Sorry. See here. So it will say that from date to date, the duration time is null, start time and time, number of days to leave balance right now, date 35, used to, pending to. So right now what happened is like it has not been approved, right? So that is why still the count is 35 only. Over here, okay, entitled is 35 and the balance is 33. So we can still raise a ticket for this. We can raise a bug for this, that these two has not been still approved. Only once it gets approved, we can, we can mark the balance as 33. Or we can do, let's say they have told that this is the implementation that we are going to follow. Maybe the product owner will say that this is the implementation that we are going to follow, that we will deduct this 33. So in that case, you'll have to come and you'll have to see when the manager declines those two requests. Okay. So in that case, you should come and check whether this balance is now upgrading to 35 or not.
Okay.
Yeah.
Mm.
So these will be the scenarios. Again, you'll be checking out all the dates, that when has this particular user put down the date for. So when have they applied for the leaves? So we are seeing that as date for 1 day only it is showing, and till this, so this seems a bit odd. We can still check with them that what is this. If you want to see, if you want to show that these are the particular days that they had taken the leaves, then we should show them all. So basically it should also show 10th of Feb also, right? It is right now showing only one of them.
Yeah.
Yeah, on the leave request I had given 2nd Feb to 10th Feb. So either we need some clarity over here, whether if the user is saying that from 2nd to 10th, so if you are taking it only 1 day only, that on the 10th the user will be coming. If you're taking it in that scenario, then here used should be one only. Okay. Or if you're taking it properly, then this is the field where the wrong details are there. So there should be two as well, that this user has taken it these many days. So these are few of the scenarios. Pending approvals also we can do. Okay, pending approvals, like it is just saying that, okay, these many two length for 2 working days they have applied, but it is still in pending state. Okay, now let's say if I want to, these all data, you need to validate again. Everything, each and every detail has to be validated from the database only. Okay, each and every detail will have to validate it from the database. So majorly what happens is, for the GET APIs, we will be validating the data, we'll be validating it from the database, because they don't have any source of truth properly if they have so many information with them. So in this case, like I said, there could be two things. So leave request I had put down from here. So this thing I will validate from here, leave data, and the other details will be validated from the database side. Now, if I want to delete this thing, the leave request, okay, so I'll be having a leave request ID with me. So this is the leave request ID, and here I'll just give this.
Sonali, this collection is created by you.
Yeah, it is created by me.
Okay, on the Postman you created by using the URLs from the app. You created this collection. Okay.
Okay, now I'm just trying to see if the user is able to cancel the request also. So this thing, the user themselves are doing it. Okay, this is not done by their manager that they are canceling it. In that case, it will be the rejection. Here I'm just trying to cancel whatever leave request I had put down. So now I have just put down that I don't want these leaves. Now again, I'll come back here and I need to check what is the leave balance now. So in this scenario, if you look, it is still saying 2 leaves taken, 2 pending approvals, 2. Okay. Where is the balance? The balance.
Do you have the database access for this app also?
No, I don't have the database access for this one.
Okay. So we will do only the API testing on this.
Yes, we'll do only the API testing.
Okay. So we will confirm it from the status code only.
Right. So majorly what you can do is, first of all, your focus should be majorly the UI only. Try to understand the UI. How is it happening? So
Okay.
let's say if I have put down a leave request, then where it will be coming. Okay. If I have assigned the leave request to someone, in that case, what will happen? There are multiple things over here, reports. Okay. So my leaves over here. Okay. Right now it is showing. Okay, so vacation I had given it twice. Okay, I had hit those APIs twice, so now it is coming as 70 total number of leaves that I have with me. Okay, so this is how the API are integrated with the UI. So however times I'm hitting it from the API, it will show it that way only. Um,
But if we're creating double the leaves, so
hmm,
it will be a bug. If we
if
are,
we are
yeah,
hitting
if
the API twice,
matlab, I mean that you can do approved only 35 leaves per year only. So
hmm,
if some person get more than 35, so it
right.
will, for that we can create it's a bug.
Yeah, exactly. It will be a bug only. So that might also happen, might be how the developer has tweaked it, okay, from the backend. So let's say if you have hit the API to add 35 leaves, in that
Mhm.
scenario, it might happen that it is coming 70. But in those scenarios, also when you're entitling these um leaves. So API response is giving us now total number of leaves available, right? So at that point, you can check it from the API response also that this is coming as 70.
Mhm.
So I can share this API collection as well with you. So you can just play around with it. Just don't forget to add the cookies, otherwise it will show you the same thing again and again.
Okay.
Okay. So that ways you can do. There are a lot of things that you can play around applying. So applying, you had tried it from the backend, right? We have looked at into the backend, what are the type of. So you see over here, right? So first look at this, wait. My leaves entitlement, here I'm seeing Can vacation and US vacation. Okay, so now when the user is trying to apply for the leaves, you should see that there are only two fields should be available. Okay, there are several type of leaves, but all the type of leaves should not be there. It should be only for which they are entitled. When I click on this, it's showing that your leave balance is 35, and I'm clicking on this, it's showing that the leave balance is 70. So each and every detail should match.
Okay.
Okay. Now, usually what will happen is like, let's say from date. Okay. So I can't go into the past and take some holiday. So maybe for like this particular year, you can go into the past and take, maybe there might be some option for this organization that, okay, maybe if you have taken some leaves and you forgot to log it, in that case, you can do it, but not for the last year only you're doing it, because anyways, the leaves will be expiring, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
So all day or end day, these are the various combinations that you have to check. Now it's on the UI, we are saying that these are the mandatory field by looking at the start, leave type, from date, to date, duration. These are the mandatory fields. So same thing happened when we were hitting the API from the backend, from the postman. We were not giving this partial days column, right? If you remember, we were giving this duration as half day morning, from date to date, and the type of vacation by giving the vacation
Yes.
ID, type of ID, right? So this thing you can try and just try to, let's say, I have tried to, so leave balance exceeded, because I'm trying to do it. First of all, I'm trying to do it in the past. And at that time, it is showing that you don't have any leave balance. Okay.
So right now, the Sonali, you are doing the UI testing, right?
Yeah, this is the UI testing.
Okay. So we have to do UI and as well as API on the based whatever data we added.
Right. Yeah.
So, but
Okay.
if it works successfully on UI, so it is mandatory to do the API.
No, no. The thing is, APIs will be usually doing it only when the UI is not ready with us. In that case, only we will be doing the API testing. So in the API testing also, what will happen is like, let's say even the UI is ready, but still you need to at least come here and do some sort of rough, overall testing. Let me just, resize. Is it not giving me the result? Wait, let me just open it on Chrome.
And Sonali, sometimes if our UI testing is saying that it's a bug, so it's mandatory. We have to check it once in a API also.
No, it's not mandatory. If you think that it is a bug on the UI, then you can directly raise it. You can also validate it from the database and all. Just try to validate it twice or thrice. Okay. But if you think that it's a bug, just raise it. No need to validate it on different scenarios. If it's because UI and APIs will be basically integrated together.
Okay.
So is it like we have to identify if there's a bug in a UI? So is it our duty to identify whether it is a front end a bug or a back end bug?
It will be your own responsibility to validate if it's a front end bug or a back end bug. So looking at the type of bug now, you'll be able to get it. So I'll just show you one scenario. So if you remember right now, I was trying to uh, approve one of the requests
Own
from here.
vacation, yes.
Yeah. So what was happening was when I had clicked on approved, it was first of all, it was showing 0 records found. Okay. And then when you clicked on assigned leaves and came back over here, so then at that time it was showing that 4 records found. So this is what happening is like the API is getting you the correct result only, but on the screen refresh, on the page refresh only, it is updating the result. So this kind of thing is the API, the front end issue. So basically the result that you're getting is perfect, but you need to refresh your screen. So your front end is not able to get the data on the live session, on the, this we say that on the live, it is not updating. So it should be updating without refreshing the page or without going to some other tab and then coming back. So these sort of things are UI. Basic thing you will get to know. Okay, let's say over here, if there are some alignment issues, that is UI. Okay, front end issue. If let's say uh, it is accepting invalid data, okay, and you are now clicking on on the job on the while adding the user, if you're giving some invalid data and it is allowing you to save it, it is allowing you to add the user, that time it is a backend issue. So backend should take care of these things, that you can't enter invalid details.
Okay.
Okay, this thing that you're seeing right now, right, that without even without when the user has not even clicked on save, it is already showing you that username red box is coming, right? So these things should appear only once the user click on save button. These shouldn't be appearing on its own directly when the user is landing on this page. This is the front end issue in that case. Okay. So yeah, yeah. Is something wrong over here? Is not showing me the response at all. Let me refresh it. No. So let's say you have done one round of UI testing where the APIs are integrated. So you haven't done any sort of particular API testing or dedicated API testing. In that case, what will happen is like you will do is like just do some round of testing on the UI, and then on this responses you will come. So response and preview is basically the same thing. Response, you will see it just like going in a list line, and preview, it will show you in a proper form. Okay. So here, basically, you will just try to validate like, okay, everything is looking fine, whether you're not exposing any unnecessary details over here. Is this thing clear? Like unnecessary details as in like, first of all, when the user is trying to log in, so the password is not getting exposed in the preview. Okay. If the user who is logged in, any other details apart from this leaves and all should not be exposed over here. So
Oh,
whatever is the required information, only those information should be displayed, should be coming up in the response, API response. So I'm getting this 500 unexpected error occur. This is a server error. My application is not working fine right now. So do you get what I was saying about this?
yeah.
Unnecessary information should not be returned from the API responses.
Basic security testing, right?
Basic security testing. Also, let's say this particular API's task is to send the statuses, to send the type of, uh, let's say I have put down the this application request, this sorry, not application request. Um, I have put down the leave request. So it should be only saying me that, okay, this, whether this has been approved or this has been rejected. Okay. In that case, it shouldn't be telling me that the total leave balance is this and this. Shouldn't be sharing all the data.
So these type of things will be shared by us, that if you will do the testing, so the status should be show this only these two fields.
Yeah, these should be, it will be shared with you by the developer only.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay, if you feel that this is the unnecessary data that we are sharing, that we are giving in the response, this you can
Mhm.
again go ahead and discuss with the with your product owner
Product
as
owner.
well.
Okay.
Let's say right now over here, I am getting that, okay, this leave, this person has put down the leaves, or this person has accepted the leaves. So we are not showing that, okay, who is the manager, how many leaves do they have, or these kind of details.
Okay,
These
that's
kind of,
unnecessary details.
yeah. The other details, if any unnecessary details are coming, you can go ahead and raise it with your product manager, that why are we giving it in the responses? Is it required? First of
Okay.
all, raise it with the developer. If they don't agree, then go to the product owner that I don't want these in the responses.
Okay.
Yeah. So yeah, basically this is only what I had. Um,
Can you click on the directory also? Directory.
Directory. Okay.
Okay. So in directory it shows that 76 records are there.
Yeah, it will be showing the number of users that we have.
Okay.
Yeah. So these users, when you're trying to create it from the admin, okay, when you're trying to add the new user, you can also validate this scenario that that particular user should be able to log in over here. They should be able to log in. So you can create your own user over here, and then you can try to log in from the on the application.
So at that time we have to create our own password.
Yeah, you have to create your own password.
Okay.
Yeah, we have all the details over here, right? That you need to give your password, each and everything. So
Yes.
yeah, you can go ahead and then just log in as that user.
Okay.
Yeah. So, did you got any idea now, like how do we do the API testing, right? How do we work on the different scenarios? How do we do negative testing from the APIs?
Yeah, somewhat, yes.
Yeah.
Okay. I'll also share. I need to zip it actually. I don't think I'll be able to send this collection over here on the chat itself.
On the WhatsApp group, can you send it? The
Yeah, I'm
URL.
checking.
Yeah,
Maybe
URL.
I'll send it over there, or I'll just share it with Radhika over the mail, and then she can forward it to you guys.
Okay. Thank you
Yeah.
so much.
Okay, great.
Okay,
Do you have any?
Sonali, we can do API testing with the as automation also, but for that we use the different tools.
Yes, for that we used REST assured with Java. So majorly in industry we use REST assured with Java. There are other tools as well, Kotlin, and with Python also there is one library with which we can do the API automation, but majorly REST assured only for REST APIs. There is one tool called SOAP UI, Ready API. So
So
these are
that
major.
these are the automation tool for the API testing.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
And Postman is the API manual testing tool for the
It
API.
is mainly manual testing tool. Yeah, exactly. So
Okay.
I'll take one more session as well where I'll be going in depth of how can we, utilize this Postman very skillfully. So this is just how I had, hit. I have shown you how to hit the APIs right now. How can we, do
That.
various test cases over here. There are
Mhm.
various scenarios where we will be writing some tests over here in the JavaScript language. We'll be adding few test cases. We can give some prerequisite script as well. We can, add some new environment variables. Every time, no need to give this complete URL. We can
Mhm.
give some short parameters as well for that one. So that is also a complete different session only. Maybe in coming few days, I'll take that up as well.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay.
Oh,
Okay.
this I just wanted to understand. I wanted you to understand how different test cases we are going to try with this.
So the collection you created, that's a test cases, no?
Yeah, these are basically the test cases.
Okay.
So right now what I had done is like just create user and then one API that I had created for you when you're doing it on the live on the when you're doing a complete end-to-end testing at that time, what you can do is just create a duplicate of this. Okay, you can also rename it, that you can say that negative scenario.
Are you sharing your screen?
Oh yeah,
It's
okay,
not
I'm on
showing
the
actually.
screen. Yeah, sorry.
No problem.
Yeah. So what I have done is using three dots. Yeah, you can see my screen, right?
Yes, yes.
Yeah. Over here, you'll be getting one option as three dots, and then I have clicked on rename, and then you can give that negative scenario for field, and whichever field you are looking for over here, let's say maybe username. So for username, these complete details you can give over here and then just save it.
Okay.
Okay. So this way
This
you
is
can
the
also track that these are the test cases that I have tested using the APIs.
okay. API methods like get, post.
Right. Yeah.
So
Okay.
Sonali, the fields you have given in the body, right? The username, password, those are the same name as given in the database?
Those are the so it necessarily don't need to be the same name exactly, but yeah, they will be having a reflection of it on the database. So it might be like on the database, it could be just USRNAME or something like that. Some tweaks PSWD over there, or status they can give like status of the employee completely. So
Mhm.
they'll be having each and every field will be having a reflection of there on the database.
Okay, but
So
it
yeah,
would be like relatable, right?
yeah, it will be completely relatable. And these details also will whether like how can you validate this on the database? So these queries you can get it from from the developer. Okay, so you can either get the table names from the developer in sometimes what happen is like you might need to go into the different data tables to get different data. At that time, the developer might during the KT sessions, during the QA handover, they
Mhm.
will give you the complete queries what you need to write.
Oh, okay. That would be good.
Yeah, but not necessarily each and every time it will happen. They might just tell you that, okay, this is the table name. So you
Mhm.
need to be prepared for the table like querying as well.
Yeah.
But majorly what we use is select query only. So no need to worry about that.
Okay.
Okay.
So yeah, this is what I had. Mm, yeah. Do you have any other questions?
No, for me, no.
No.
Yeah, I'm good.
No, I'm good too.
Okay. Yeah. Cool. Okay. Just go
Yeah.
through that application. If you have any questions, you can just ping me over the chat as well, and we can take it up.
Okay.
Sure.
Sure. All right. Thank you, guys.
Okay. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Sonali.
Thank you, Sonali.
Good night.
Okay. Yeah. Bye.
Bye.